what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to achieve this look using the Jaclyn Hill Bling Boss palette from her Vault collection with Morphe. So if you'd like to see how I achieve this look, then go ahead and keep on watching. Alright, so I went ahead and put my base on off camera so that we are just focused on the eyes today. First things first, we need to prime our eyelids. Today I'm going to be using the P.Louise base in the shade 01. I like to put just a tiny bit on my eye right there, and then I take this concealer brush from MakeupbyEmma and I just start blending it out using tapping motions. I usually like to take my middle finger and pat it, press it into the skin. You don't want to use setting powder because when you use setting powder, your shadows aren't as pigmented as they could be. So just make sure we get the most payoff. You're going to be tapping it into the skin. Okay, so now that we look fresh and ready for the circus, it is time to start on eyeshadow. So the first shade I want to take is Hush Hush, and I'm going to be taking an M441 brush. It's just a big fluffy brush, and I'm going to dip into the pan very lightly and then tap off any excess. This is a helpful tip to remember. You can always build up eyeshadow. It's very hard to take eyeshadow away. It's important to take as little product as possible, get it into the shape that you want, and then build up the pigment. That tip is really helpful for beginners when you're starting, especially when you're starting with colorful looks, because they can be very scary. If you just take everything nice and slow, one step at a time, you can really get great looks even as a beginner. I'm going to put this shade in my crease area, and I'm going to start in the outer portion of the eye, and I'm going to stamp on the color and then blend it inwards, and then just keep repeating that same pattern of stamping at the ends and building it inwards until I get the shape that I'm looking for. I'm pretty happy with the pigment. I'm going to go in with just a little bit more just so it's a little bit deeper. And now I'm going to blend it up towards the brow bone. You don't want to add too much product to the brow bone because you want to have like a nice fade on your natural skin to the eyeshadow. So I sometimes like to take just like a 1-2, tap into the pan and then tap it off, and then go right over the edges of where I put the eyeshadow previous, blend it upwards. Alright, so the next shade that we're going to be using is shade Rockstar, and I'm going to be taking that on e.l.f. crease brush. For this shade, I'm going to be focusing strictly into the crease, meaning we won't be blending it up as much at the end. Again, I'm going to be using the technique of stamping it in the outer portion of my eye, and then as the product slowly starts to come off of the brush, then I will start to bring it in to the inner corner. I really like the technique of stamping it in the outer portion and then bringing it in because I think it adds a lot of drama, and it also really helps elongate your eye. Alrighty, now that the shape that I'm looking for is there, I'm going to begin to add some more product to make it a little bit darker. And I am just using back and forth windshield wiper type motions. Alright, now that that is done, as you can see, it's looking a little crazy, so we want to make sure that we blend the two shades together. I'm going to be taking the same brush that we just used for Rockstar, and I'm going to be doing slight windshield circular type motions all on the outer edge of that shadow that we just put down. Not bringing it up too high because we don't want it to be too dark close to our brow bone. Blending it up just enough that it nicely blends those two shades together. And I'm going to be taking the brush we used earlier for the shade Hush Hush, and there's still barely any product on there. I'm just going to be tapping in one time, tap off any excess, and then right where the two shades meet, I'm going to be placing the Hush Hush shade just so it blends everything together. So now that we've done that, shade Rockstar, it's not as pigmented as we would like it. Go in 1-2, tap off as much excess as possible, and go back in and apply it just so it is back to the intensity that we would like. And that part is totally up to you. You can make it as dark as you would like or as light as you would like. The darker it is, the more dramatic it is. I think that is a really helpful tip for beginners as well, is when you're trying to blend eyeshadow, especially colorful eyeshadow, always best to just take your previous brushes and just keep applying them in the same pattern as when you started. I think when you use the previous brushes, it makes it a lot easier than just trying to blend out the one color. Alrighty, we are now going to be moving on to the shade Mystic, and I'm going to be taking that on an M506 brush. I really like it for applying things in the very outer corner because it's very small and precise, and just taking it very little, tapping off any excess just so it's not too overpowering to work with. The shade we're going to be mainly focusing in the very outer portion and just slightly moving it in. So doing a little tap tap tap, and then when there's barely any product left on the brush, we're going to slightly move it inward, not going all the way into the inner corner, just blending out that edge there, because the deeper you make the outer portion, the more dramatic the look is and the more it will elongate your eye, as I mentioned before. And personally, I really love the dramatic style. Alright, now that that is all where I would like it to be, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing that I did before, taking the brushes that I used previously in that same e.l.f. crease brush and very lightly blending out that outer ring from the shade Mystic. And then again, I'm going to be taking that big fluffy brush from the beginning, the M441 that we used for Hush Hush. And again, just going on the very outer portion of all those shades. Now would be the time to go in and deepen it up, keeping it strictly in the outer V portion of your eye. The outer V of your eye is basically right where your lash line ends, right here, and just like if you were to draw a V, right there. That's the outer V of your eye. If you hear beauty gurus saying that, that's what they're talking about. You just keep blending away because we don't want any harsh lines. Berry Treasure, which is the darkest shade in the palette. What we're going to be doing with this shade is we're going to be using it to kind of act as an eyeliner. You just want to dip the very tip of your brush into the shade, tap off excess. Just want to put it right on where you would put eyeliner and only going about halfway on the lid. And then you want to kind of flick it up like that, starting at the base of where your lashes are and flicking it up like that. You can even flick down a little bit if you want to. And then of course, taking your brushes from previous shades and blending it all together. You're not going to need much blending from this shade since we applied a very small amount, but it is important to still blend things together. You can compare it to my eye that doesn't have Berry Treasure on it yet, so it just kind of like defines the eye a little bit more. It's so simple, but it makes a huge difference. The last shade we're going to be using is Bling Bling, and I'm going to be taking that on an M167 brush. It's just a flat concealer brush. And I'm going to be spraying it with a little spritz of the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. And then we're going to dip in to Bling Bling. I'm going to put that all over the lid. So now we need to start working on the lower lash line. What I like to do is I like to just repeat the same shades that I put up on top, on bottom, in the same order so that it's all connected. So using the same brushes as before, Berry Treasure we're going to put on the very lower lash line. And like before, we're only going into the middle of the eye, not all the way over. And then going with the M506 brush with the shade Mystic, just there very lightly. You don't want to do too much on the lower lash line. Very lightly, going to take it right underneath where we just put Berry Treasure and very slightly just apply it like so. Each shade you want to go a little bit closer into the inner corner than the shade previous. So for this one, we're just going to go a tiny bit more like right there. And right now, I'm going to go ahead and take Berry Treasure and kind of blend it out a little bit more. Alrighty, and the next shade is Rockstar with the e.l.f. crease brush. Get right under there, and again a little bit more towards the inner corner, and also making sure to connect it with this part here. Lastly, taking Hush Hush on the M441 brush and going right there all the way to the inner corner. Alrighty, so yeah, I'm going to do the other eye off camera, and then I am going to be putting some lashes on off camera, and then I'll be right back with the completed look. Alrighty, the lashes are on, and here is the completed look. Alright, you guys, that completes the look for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. As always, let me know down in those comments what content you would like to see from me in the future, and if you could leave a like and subscribe, it would seriously mean so much to me. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye! Hello, it is Emma from the future. I started editing this video and I realized something that it was very apparent. You could see I was getting upset, because I was in real life. I was getting a little frustrated that the look wasn't exactly coming out exactly how I wanted. It was a little bit off and the colors weren't blending, and I just was getting very frustrated, and I just realized I want to take a step back and just say, like, even me, I'm still learning how to do makeup. it's still a journey every day, and I'm trying to improve, and I just wanted to let you guys know that if the look does not come out perfect, don't beat yourself up over it, because I was sitting here like, I was like, I shouldn't even post the video, it looks bad, I'm not even gonna edit it, I should just delete it. But I realized that we're all trying to improve our skill, and we all just love makeup. I love makeup, and I want to get better at it, and part of getting better is practice. So it may not come out 100% perfect every single time, but it's important to just keep pushing and keep trying. And this may sound cheesy, but I just wanted to include this little tidbit in here because I was getting frustrated that the look wasn't coming out exactly how I wanted, and I realized that that's not what it's about. It's about wanting to share my passion with you guys and wanting to share the love that I have for makeup, and I want to pursue it and get better, and I want to just be so invested in it. And so that's part of it, is practicing, and sometimes you fail, but honestly I am really happy with how it turned out. I just have to trust the process a little bit more. But yeah, I just wanted to make that little disclaimer in here and just let you guys know, if you fail, it's okay. We all have to fail at some point to get better at what we're doing, and to not beat yourself up over it. In fact, you should be proud that you are trying new looks that you didn't try before, and even if they don't come out 100% great, you should be proud that you just tried it and you put yourself out there to do like a crazy rainbow look, and you're gonna rock it either way. So I just wanted to add that little tidbit in here. Again, thank you so much for watching. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!